Yeah, I already shared it. I'm trying to find it on YouTube so that I can respond to comments. I know you did, but you sending it to me on YouTube is different from me finding it on my television because I'm not the user on this TV. So I don't get notifications on my television.
What happened? Yeah. Go. Wish you.
I know you've been here. Why you surprised, Angelo? Why are you sending me text messages to my phone when you know I'm on Discord, bro? Is that how we just open the show? Yeah.
back over here, so I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Because what's going on over here?
What's going on, Hawks? What's going on? Let me read some of these text messages. Jello's here, Big Bill's here. Angelo, we do a show every Tuesday night, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, why are you text messaging me when you know I'm on this Discord app and I can't answer you? This is the only way I can answer you. But anyway, I just want to say, I want to give the biggest, supremest thank you to my good old friend, Tony Blu-ray. Tony Blu-ray is on Over the Top right now. He's right there. He's right there. I want to see if I'm pointing the right direction. I'm gonna find out right now. Hold on a second, because there's a little lag on the. Nope.
I think you are
that way. He's that way. I'm so sorry. Anyway, say what's up to the Hawks, Tony Blu-ray.
What's up? All right.
All right.
Make it rain. Which one?
Which buddy? Oh, El Pingun 21. Ronaldo, what's going on?
Yo,
how you doing?
Great.
I love you, man. Thanks for watching. Look who I got on the show. Right. So I guess I gotta keep watching Game of Thrones now. So Tony, just real quick, in your own words, can you explain to the Hawks how I had to get with you to come on the show?
Oh man. I mean, he basically begged me to download this app. I didn't want to download it. I was like, man, it just sounds like a lot of work, man. But I downloaded the app, and he threatened to not watch Game of Thrones, which he's watching. I don't know what
actually
he's on now. He's on season 3, I believe.
Yeah. I'm on season 3, episode 6.
Okay, so I figured, you know what? To continue your journey on Game of Thrones, I'll jump on the show.
Okay. So I want you to know something real quick, Tony.
Mm-hmm.
What's that, Mark?
Yeah, it really was.
Okay, well listen to me, and I want you to know something. Here on Over the Top, we like to go over the top. So I really like your explanation as to how I got you on the show. I'm gonna give the Hawks, in my words, what happened. Okay, I want to give it to in my words, and I want the Hawks to know that I have the documentation to prove it all. I have all the apps, all the recordings, through all the messages. And if anybody has a question to ask about what really happened, just come to me and I'll show you. Anyway, so like a couple months ago, I explained to Tony that we're on this Discord app and it's a community and we're trying to do this and that. And just like every other idea, I come to Tony, he's like, that's cool, bro. That's cool for you. That's good for you. I don't know how to run any technology. All I know how to do is make a phone call and watch porn. That's all I can do on my phone. Whatever, whatnot. Which I know is not true, because my homeboy has a YouTube channel and he does it off his phone. So hey, I let it go for a couple months, and then finally I got this idea, this main idea that I want him on this show. I want to have like an extreme argument with him on this show, and I think it would be epic and it would be great. So me and Ray are discussing how Tony won't come on the show, and Ray offered Tony full payment for him to travel from where he lives to where we live so that he can do an episode. And I came back with Ray. He don't need to come here. He can sit on his couch and do the show with me. We can do this together that way. We don't even need any money. And he's like, damn, Tony, you got to get on that. So finally I said, you know what? I'm not going to watch one more episode until you download this app, Tony. Not one. I'm done with Game of Thrones. You want to know how he responded? He said, you just hurting yourself, man. But that don't bother me. You don't want to watch the greatest show ever made? That's on you. So that's how he responded. So I thought to myself, how am I going to break this man? What can I do? So I then messaged him with, you know what, Tony? If I were you, I wouldn't want to come on the show with me either. I wouldn't want to look. I get it. I understand. You just don't want to have an intelligent argument with me. I understand. You don't want to lose. So he comes back with, that kind of psychology would work on a child, but it's not going to work on me. So don't you ever think that kind of shit's going to work with me. And I messaged him back like, Tony, man, you don't even got to say anything, dude. We can just forget about it. It's okay. You don't even got to say anything. I understand. Just go on with your life. You're going to be fine. The very next message that I got, 32 seconds later, was, what's your username? I downloaded that. And I was like,
in there, but we'll save it for the kids, I guess. Watch out. But I threw in some bad words in those texts.
Yeah, there were some cuss words. And I'm comfortable with saying cuss words, but I don't know how Tony felt, and I think his wife's sitting in the room. Do you have your earbuds on you?
I do. I have them on.
Oh well, fuck yeah, cuss away. Yeah, he said a lot of fucking cuss words. So yeah, that's how I got Tony. So basically, we're here on the show today. We're going to discuss our own personal all-time favorite shows, our top 5s. So it's not USA Today's top 5. It's not what the Guild Awards want you to believe is top 5 or whatever. This is just Tony Blu-ray's top 5 and Mo Diggs' top 5, and we're going to talk about that. But before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit about Captain Marvel. There's a lot of hoopla about it. There's a lot of people talking shit. Everybody knows who watches this show that I'm a huge Marvel advocate. I love Marvel. Marvel is like everything to me. I feel like they're the most awesome company ever. If I could work for Marvel, I would go work there. Anyhow, they just do amazing things. So
I want to work for them. Yeah, all right.
So I made an argument once that every time Marvel makes a movie, they overstep the one before. And it's just even better now. Like, because I'm not going to even lie. When I was 15 years old, I didn't know who the fuck Black Panther was. But Wakanda Forever, I'm just saying. That movie was fucking awesome. I didn't know who Black Panther was. I didn't know who Captain Marvel was. I just knew the regular ones, the ones that everybody knows. Iron Man, Cyclops, Wolverine, whatever. I'm not a fanboy. But I will recognize, greatness when I see it, and what Marvel's doing as a company, as a production company, is amazing. Nobody has ever done it before, and now people are trying to copy that. They're trying to piggyback off what they're doing and making a huge universe of whatever they're doing. Like the monsters have a monsterverse, and DC's trying to jump on it, and blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. So a lot of people are talking shit about Captain Marvel. They're saying that this movie didn't live up to the hype, that it wasn't that great. It just wasn't. It wasn't on the Marvel kill. Let me explain something. Okay? You can't have Endgame without Captain Marvel. You can't. And unfortunately, the only movie that's going to top Infinity Wars in the Marvelverse is Endgame. That's the only one that has the potential, because they have hit their peak. So Captain Marvel had the sad, whoever planned for this didn't plan it well. Captain Marvel should have came out like when Ant-Man came out, or when like Ant-Man and the Wasp came out, not after Infinity War. It shouldn't have happened. I know that Infinity War is what kind of introduced Captain Marvel to the thing, and I'll tell you right now, Captain Marvel is going to be a big reason as to they're going to overcome Thanos. Big reason. So, but it's going to be because I know Captain Marvel is going to be a big reason, and I have a really, really strange feeling that we're going to see Adam Warlock too. I really have a strange feeling that Adam Warlock is going to be introduced during Endgame, because he's kind of hinted to in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie that he's being born, or he's being made, or whatever those gold people do to procreate.
He was in Thor: The Dark World. He was in the Collectors. That's what they said.
That too. That's when they first introduced him. And then I think in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, where he fights Ego, one of the end scenes is him growing in the chamber of procreation on their planet. So I think I thought it was an enjoyable movie. I thought the acting was great. And you know what, man? You got to give a hard 100% slap on the back, slap on the ass, however way you tell a guy is doing a great job, to Samuel L. Jackson. Because somehow Marvel got the smartest man in Hollywood to change roles. Have you ever heard this argument from me, Tony?
What's that?
Samuel L. Jackson is the smartest actor in Hollywood. He has made a career off angry black men. Every movie he's in, he's an angry black man.
Yeah.
He's even an angry black Jedi.
And yeah, he manages to yeah. I mean,
what did you ask us? He looks amazing.
He's 7 years old. Because I was gonna say, because he's been around for so many years. Like in the movie, I think he was in the movie School Days. He was in the, Do the Right Thing. I remember being young and watching him in those movies, and looking back at even Jurassic Park, first one in '93. That dude ages very well, man.
No, he's a terrific actor. So I felt like Captain Marvel kind of showed Samuel L. Jackson's depth of an actor, because like you forget that he has depth and can be very dramatic and intense and soft when he needs to be soft and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of good things about the movies, but let's fucking be real, dude. Since April of last year, the only movie anybody wants to see is Endgame. After watching Infinity Wars, what happens next? Nothing else that comes out from Marvel between then and now until we get Endgame is going to live up to the hype.
See, because Infinity War came out, then Ant-Man and the Wasp came out.
Yeah, we can hear you.
You guys can hear me. I was making sure the chat could hear me. Can you hear me now?
Oh.
Angela, I was saying that Samuel L. Jackson's 70 years old. December 1st, 1948.
God
Crazy.
Damn. That's crazy. That's old as shit.
Well,
so, and let me tell you something about my friend Tony Blu-ray. Tony Blu-ray saw Captain Marvel the day it opened.
Yep.
The day it opened. Tony Blu-ray is the first guy to give me shit about being such a Marvel advocate, yet he was there the day it opened.
Yep. And I
know she's pretty hot, so why wouldn't you watch it?
Brie Larson's not that hot.
No. She has a unique beauty to her. I mean, it's unique. She's not like gorgeous. She's not like one of these.
But Donatella saw it at home, my boy.
But she's a good actress. I will tell you that I like her as an actress. I really enjoyed her in the movie Room. That's where I felt she really showed you her depth in that movie. The movie was really good.
What about in Kong Skull Island?
I mean, that movie was not a good movie, okay? That was a mindless action movie. You just sit back, you don't have to think, you just watch these people go to an island, literally leave Skull Island, and just go to town on
Mikey. How was doing, Mikey?
And that's it. It's not like King Kong with Peter
What's
Jackson.
up, bro?
You like the Peter Jackson King Kong?
Yeah. That was a great fucking King Kong movie. In fact, it was probably one of my favorite King Kong movies. It's a great movie, man.
Okay.
It's really good. It gives you, as a matter of fact, Academy Award-winning King Kong movie.
I can't disagree with that. There's no argument I can make.
It's a good
You're
movie,
right.
man. It's long.
Even when you polish, a turd, it's still shit. I'm just saying.
Well, it's like grabbing a turd from its cleaner, right?
You know, I'm excited to see the Godzilla versus King Kong coming out in 2020. Why I'm excited to see it, I have no idea. Because the first Godzilla movie, Kong Skull Island, they were both let down. This is the monster verse.
Yeah.
We're gonna get Godzilla King of Monsters next, and then
It's
after
not
that
gonna
it's
be
gonna
like-
be King Kong versus Godzilla.
It's not gonna blow you away either.
No.
Godzilla,
No.
King of Monsters, but I think it's just gonna be really fun to watch, and it's gonna be cool. I am gonna go see it 100%, but
So, you know-
I don't expect it to be.
I mean, you and I are gonna see it, yeah, because we're moviegoers. We're gonna see it, but it's still gonna suck.
we'll see it.
Angelo was saying that he thought somebody else was supposed to be coming out before Endgame. I didn't.
No, nothing
No.
else. Just
Captain Marvel was it. That was it.
Endgame, and then after that, it's gonna be Far Away From Home, but that is gonna be
That's a Sony
different-
production, though.
The Sony production.
And the
Still
only
Marvel.
reason it's still Marvel. It's
And this is
affiliated
because
with Marvel.
they're trying to. I feel like they're Tom Holland Spider-Man with the Tom Hardy Venom.
That's
I
exact-
think that they're trying to.
Because they're gonna bring out the Legion of Doom.
Yeah, they're trying to do all that great. Well, let's see what Disney does, man. Because they're trying to.
I mean, Disney needs to just cut Sony out of it. Because like as good as Venom was, like
yeah,
people
Venom
asked
was
me
fun.
about my thoughts on Venom, and I said it was a step in the right direction. Like Tom Hardy's Venom was great. Everybody else around him kind of sucked. I really like that they brought Carnage in. I really like that Woody Harrelson's coming in the next one, and I forget the name of his symbiote that he's connected to.
Riot.
Riot. There you go, Riot. So I'm really excited about these characters and things like that. I still don't think it was a good movie. Sony just doesn't know how to make
It's
Marvel
fun.
movies.
It's a fun movie to watch. I will tell you, the first
Yeah.
time I saw it, I did not like it. I didn't think it was good. But then when I rewatched it, I said, you know what? It's not bad. It's not too bad. It has
I'll
its
try it
moments. The movie was, but I didn't like it the first time I saw it. I will tell you, I didn't like it. I thought Venom was, there was, they did the story completely wrong. But it is
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah, and
It's
the
true.
acting was subpar. The acting was subpar.
Venom didn't even have his white spider logo because Spider-Man is supposed to be the one who's first comes in contact with that symbiote, and then it goes to Eddie Brock. But they did it all backwards.
Well, the reason they did it like that was because of licensing. Because at the
Yeah.
time, Spider-Man was completely
Yeah.
owned by Disney.
I think I felt like they do stupid shit like that at an impulse, and they should just try and do things the right way. Because if they know, but either way, you still get people that are still gonna go see it. Like me, I'm gonna go still see a fucking movie about Venom, even though I know it's not gonna be a movie about. It's just gonna be their own version of Venom, in my opinion.
Yeah, Angela, that's exactly what we're talking about. Is that Sony's kind of trying to start its own multiverse using Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man's supposed to get like 5 or 6 movies on top of the one coming out. But like Spider-Man's gonna have the most movies. But like moving on, let me ask you guys. Let me ask you, Hawk, something. Are you as excited as me to know Tony Blu-ray's top 5 shows of all time? I'm excited. I can't wait to hear what this man has to say. The only reason I'm as into movies as I am right now is because of this man. This man introduced me to Kevin Smith movies. The first time I ever saw Star Wars was in this asshole's room, right after we played some NFL Blitz and I destroyed him. And we watched Star Wars and we became Star Wars fanatics. The first time I watched Ninja Turtles, Jurassic Park, it was always at Tony's house. Always at Tony's house. We used to go to the movies every week from like 12 to 16. Every week we go to Main Street.
I was
Go watch a movie.
I was fortunate to have a mother who didn't speak good English, so when you go to places like Blockbuster and these mom and pop movie video rental places, and you're renting shit like Faces of Death and fucking, you know, all these kinds of cool rated R movies, and they're looking at my mom like, is this okay? I'm telling my mom, they're just trying to say if you want, you know, whatever, and she's like, see, you know, she's like fucking busy. My mom doesn't care. She's just trying to get my movies and get out. So I'm cool, man. Yeah, Faces of Death, by the way, I don't recommend that to anyone. It really is, gave me nightmares.
No, my grandmother, when I used to stay, because I used to stay at my grandmother's house when I was like 4 or 5 years old while my parents worked, and she used to like prop me up on the chair, and I watched Terminator 2 and like all these crazy movies.
Is this what grandmas do to people? Because when I was like 4 or 5, she was babysitting me, had me watching Freddy Krueger and stuff like that, and I'm like
Freddy Krueger,
like sitting in my chair.
Yeah. My first time watching.
My grandma had me sitting on the bed watching Friday.
Bro, my grandma was the one that introduced me to Van Damme movies at my grandma's house. Watched Double Impact, Kickboxer.
Cause he's got a big cock. That was for Ray.
And Cyborg. See, a lot of people don't talk about that Van Damme movie, but that's probably one of my underrated.
Cyborg or Universal Soldier?
Cyborg.
I don't think I've ever watched Cyborg.
That movie is fucking really cool, bro.
I'm not gonna watch it, dude.
That movie's so good that
you'll watch it, Mo.
Method Man.
Don't ask.
I'm not gonna watch it.
Listen to me. Method Man actually has a clip of that movie playing in one of his songs in one of his albums in 2000. He fucking dude, and I remember listening to that shit. I was like, yo, I remember that shit from Cyborg, and it's from fucking Cyborg. That's a crazy ass movie. Yeah, it's a post-apocalyptic world, and there's like a gang that goes around killing people, and of course, you know, Van Damme, you know, he's the hero in the movie, so yeah, I don't have to tell you what happens after that. You can figure it out. The hero always wins in most movies back in the day. So,
so Tony,
what's up, man?
You know what? We didn't ask Mark. Mark, who's going first on the segment? Is it me or Tony?
Here's a really interesting thing, because I know which both of your top movies are, and your top shows for you guys are the same except for one. So my job was pretty easy. Like, your top shows were the same except for one. So we could just go on your differences. We can just go off of your differences, as the rest of them are all the same, which is interesting.
Wow, I'm excited to know this.
I'll tell you why because I'm sure a lot of people are going to mention, and I'll give you the honorable mentions I did not put in there, like for ones in Stranger Things.
Yes,
and I'll tell you why.
Joe.
I'll tell you why I did not put Stranger Things or any other shows like Westworld or anything like that, is because those shows are not completed. These shows on my list are completed shows that have a beginning and an end. And that's why I chose. Yes.
So number one's not Game of Thrones.
No. Now there's my loophole.
It's a loophole.
Listen, hold on. I'm gonna tell you. Listen, and I that up because Game of Thrones. Listen, fuck that. It doesn't matter whether this show is halfway through. The show is literally the best show ever. I already figured it by season 5. I said, fuck me, I love this show more than Sopranos. I swear to God. No, I swear to God, dude. Sopranos.
Okay.
We got bumped in them too.
Alright, Tony, what's number 5?
Goddamn. Number 5 is... You know what? Mark, help me out.
You're messing up things. So, this is what we'll do. We're going to pick his different show that's different from you. Okay? And that's what I'll open up with. As for trailers, you guys can watch with us. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. So, he's going to show the trailer.
Okay, never mind. I know what show it is. It popped back in. Go ahead, Mark. Do your thing. I got it. I remember the show.
Give me 1 second here. I don't want to show it. Hold on.
Hey, Dutch, man. Thanks for coming on, bro. I love you, dude. Thank you. Brothers for life. That's my dog, Dutch. John Eric Rodriguez. Hope the family's
okay,
good.
so the difference is between you two is the Boardwalk Empire for him.
Fuck, I forgot that one.
Yeah,
That's a good show.
That's a good show.
That's a good show.
That's a really good show.
Really good show. That show made me respect Steve Buscemi.
I know,
like,
man.
Mad respect to Steve Buscemi. I was like, damn!
I know.
Nucky Thompson!
One of my favorite endings to a show.
Show that clip. Show that clip.
One of my favorite endings to a show, man.
Wrong man is running this town. What's wrong, Mr. Thompson?
You ever wake up like you know something's wrong, but you can't put your finger on it yet?
One looks down in secret and sees many things. Only kings understand each other.
Yo, that dude, man, that dude was a bad man.
This ain't about money, it's about
and
revenge.
the dude that played Al Capone,
Give me your blessing.
good in that
I
show.
kill them all.
They were all good, Tony.
I think season 3 was probably one of my favorite seasons because of the, oh my god, the villain in that show. I don't know what it was about him. He just made me laugh because he was so polite but incredibly violent. It was so funny, just the way that he would just 1 minute just and then just fucking snap. Like in the beginning of the episode of season 3, episode 1, he's like helping a guy who's trying to fix a flat tire or something. It's crazy, bro.
Jimmy Darmody, the first 2 seasons of Jimmy Darmody, I thought were just amazing.
Yeah, I didn't think there was
control.
That kid was so fucked up, dude.
Boardwalk Empire, the
Yeah,
complete series on Blu-ray
yeah,
and
he
DVD
was.
now.
It wasn't his fault though. His mom was.
Magic.
So do
City
you
is not
do you want
number one helping them.
do you want to explain, Tony? Do you want to explain the general plot of Boardwalk Empire for everybody? Besides the obvious.
Well, it's basically it's based in during the Prohibition, where alcohol is illegal, and you know a lot of crooked politicians are trying to get their hands in there and trying to bootlegging alcohol, and they're involved with the mafia. So you got guys like Al Capone, you got guys like Charles Luciano. What would they call him? Lucky
Luciano.
Lucky Luciano. They got Meyer Lansky, I think, is in there. They got like a bunch of big mob.
The real Machine Gun Kelly.
Whoa, man, my head just hurt because you said that.
That's who Machine Gun Kelly took his name from, was the gangster in the Prohibition era. He took his name from him.
Machine Gun Kelly is lame, and his career's over.
The rapper, yes, you're right. But the gangster who's in the ground, yeah, his career's over too. But he was a bad motherfucker. They called him Machine Gun Kelly because he shot a machine gun, not because he rapped. Okay. I'm talking about the original gangster, not this fucking letdown of an rap artist that this guy really let me down.
I know I'm forgetting which major character. He played a big part in the show.
Like Nucky Thompson?
Yeah, he was Nucky Thompson's. Nucky Thompson would always go to him sometimes for counsel. His name was Arthur, but I can't remember his last name.
Arthur, yeah. Artie Green. Arthur Green.
No. He was the guy that basically fixed the World Series. They always talked about him, and this was actually true.
Arthur Rothstein.
Arnold. Rothstein. Yeah.
Arnold Rothstein.
I think it was Rothstein or.
It's Rothstein.
But he
Arnie. They used to call him Arnie.
But
Arnie Rothstein.
But the show pretty much just goes in depth with, the whole criminal world of legging alcohol and whorehouses, illegal prostitution, and then how they're trying to build an empire with that. They're just trying to create on the. Actually, it was on the what is that? Atlantic City.
Atlantic City, New Jersey. That's where it's based.
Yeah, it's in Atlantic City, so that's what Boardwalk.
They really like it shows you about all the real corruption down there.
Yeah.
Like Nucky
Crazy.
Thompson, you know, was gonna have the land that the road can make it to the boardwalk. He was the one who was supposed to have the freeway, and then the woman he chose to be his wife screwed him over and gave the land to the church, so the church was going to make the money. I mean, there was just so much corruption, and you get to watch these like really powerful men either unravel or become stronger. And it was amazing show of the depths it can take when a man steps into the mouth of madness. I mean, it's just,
And it has
an amazing show.
really great ending, like I said, to a show. I mean, there have been shows that I've seen that you know, the way that they've ended it, I wasn't too happy with.
It was
And I
very
gotta
well
tell
done.
you,
It was very well
ended.
done.
It was just a great show. So if LP Group says Magic City is a great show,
He said that Magic City was #1. I was like,
and I know he's been trying to get me to watch He's been trying to get me to watch that show. Tell
No,
him.
don't get me wrong, Tony. The show's enjoyable. The
But
show's
it was
enjoyable.
canceled. It was
I know.
canceled.
I know.
So
But
it's
so was Carnival. Carnival was an amazing show.
And I can't watch shows that don't have, you know what I'm saying? I can't.
Well,
do
because, but
For
you
sure.
know that it doesn't have an ending. You know
That's
it now.
why
If you had started watching it when it was showing, you wouldn't have known.
Then I'd be pissed right now because then
Yeah.
I'd be talking about how
Yeah.
the show doesn't have.
No, but Magic City was good. So all right, Mark, tell us what's next.
Alright, what is that?
We'll just do it this way. I'm gonna do your show that was different from his, and we'll just go down from the overall listing that you guys had shared together.
Oh,
Because like 4 out of the 5 you guys shared together.
I know which
So-
show you didn't pick of mine.
yeah, because I tell you
I
right
bet
now,
it. I bet it's justified.
Yeah, it's
I've
justified.
never seen that show. I've never
It
seen
looks
that
good.
show.
I haven't seen it either. It
Oh.
looks pretty good.
I've seen the trailer, but I've never watched.
Watch this preview.
All right, guys, enjoy the preview.
Deputy Marshal Lennon Gibbons, you got ice cold water up to your veins.
30 seconds. You're gonna pull out a gun and you're gonna shoot an unarmed man. 20 seconds. So what are you gonna do? 10.
This is the opening scene to the show, and let me tell you, it is a very powerful scene. It just sets the tone for the whole show.
Look at you! Looking like a lawman. You seen your daddy yet?
No, not yet.
Braylon, I never forgot you.
You know that the show aired during Sons of Anarchy, right?
It did.
That's why I remember it, and that's why I never really got on.
It did just as well.
Go rob a
I was, but yeah, I remember the.
It had the same amount of seasons,
You know what
everything.
that is? I didn't either. That is
You know,
the
it might have
show
been
was
a
on
season short. I think maybe a season.
So that show is done.
Yeah, this show's complete. I own the box set.
What's going on?
I gotta check it out.
just out riding around.
You do. It's really good.
Guess I just never thought
It
of
is
myself
very
as an
good.
angry man.
Honestly, you're the angriest man I have ever known.
But we don't know whether he wants to shoot you or blow you up.
Mr. Crow, you better hold on there a sec while I explain something to you. I want you to understand. I don't pull my sidearm unless I'm gonna shoot to kill.
I got a scatter gun pointed right at you.
Do you rack in a load before I put a hole through you?
Justified. Premiering March, only on FX. What are you packing?
You'll pay to find that out.
What do you pack in? You pay to find out. That's a good one. That's a good one.
So let me tell you a little bit about this show. The very beginning of this credit or this trailer, it shows him standing in a hotel, and there's a pool, and there's a lot of beautiful people at this hotel.
It's
and
Miami,
he's
boy.
wearing a Stetson, and he looks like straight up cowboy, and he's in the middle of Miami Beach. And he walks over to this man sitting on the corner, and he basically sits in front of him. He doesn't say anything, and the guy looks at him because he knows who he is. He's a gangster, and Timothy Oliphant is a U.S. Marshal. And he told this gangster when he seen him, he says, "You got 24 hours to leave town, or I'm gonna kill you where you stand." And the reason he told this gangster that was when he was on an undercover mission for his time in the FBI or something. He had to go to an island, and this guy found him and another guy on the island. He had them both tied up, and so for some reason, the one he chose to kill was the other guy. He stuck a grenade in his mouth, and he pulled the pin, and he blew him up. So he killed this man like that in front of him. So he knows he's this really bad guy. So he tells him, "You got 24 hours to get out of town, or I'm gonna kill you." So he sits there. He has a little back and forth with the guy. The guy's like, "You can't make me leave," and he's like, "I'm doing it right now." He's like, "You got a minute. You got 1 minute left." And the guy keeps talking. He's trying to talk him out of it or whatever. And he just looks at him and goes, 30 seconds. And like he keeps talking and whatever. And finally, he feels like the U.S. Marshal's going to kill him. But nobody else heard the U.S. Marshal say, "I'm going to kill you." And he draws his gun first. And he's just faster, so he kills the guy in the middle of a hotel in front of all these people, and it's a justified shooting because the other guy pulled first. He was protecting himself. But if they can prove that he put the man in a position that he felt like he was going to die, then he's going to be in a lot of trouble. So instead of going through all that, they transfer him back to his hometown, where he's, in Tennessee. So he goes from Miami to Tennessee. And now he's a U.S. Marshal in Tennessee, and he's working all the hollers where he grew up with. So you know how it is with those country people. They got family feuds and all this kind of craziness going on. So like, there's a lot of drama. But what I love about this show is the dialogue. The dialogue between all of the characters. Nothing really means what they're saying. Like they speak in code almost. Like it's like, depending on the tone he said it, how he delivered it, things like that. Everything they say has double meaning. And that's what really drew me into the show. This is a show that I've watched from beginning to end 5 times. And every time I watch it, I enjoy it. I love it. That's why it's in my top 5. I went through a phase where I really enjoyed Timothy Oliphant movies. I don't know, like I just, you get in that mood that you want to watch a specific actor.
Like even Hitman?
I didn't really like that movie, but I went through a phase where I just wanted to watch Timothy Oliphant work.
I was going to say that movie sucks, but I get you.
Yeah, that movie sucked terribly.
I think The Crazies was better.
The Crazies was good. Timothy Oliphant was in the movie Go, which was a pretty decent movie.
He was in Scream 2.
He was in a Scream 2 movie. He's been in a bunch of things. I can't think of anything right now off the top of my mind, but he's been in a bunch of movies that I've enjoyed. Even Gone in 60 Seconds. He was in Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah.
That's a good movie. So it made it as my top 5 as number 5. But it's a really enjoyable movie. If it's a show that you haven't seen, I recommend you watch it. FX makes pretty good shows. Like I enjoyed The Shield, Rescue Me, Anger Management is funny at times. It's at times. FX makes a lot of good shows. So.
Yeah. Sons of Anarchy is good.
SOA, that's also on my list.
All
right.
So it seems that we might as well go with what you just said, Sons of Anarchy, because it was 4 for both of you guys. Sons of Anarchy was number 4 for you guys. So
Sons of Anarchy, number 4.
Yeah, man, that's a great show.
Check out this clip.
It's hard to
find. Want to be Jack Teller?
It wasn't the Chinese that killed my
I want to be Jack Teller.
Donatello killed Terrence.
One of my favorite One of my favorite endings.
Talk to you about his vision.
Too, man.
What he wanted from the club.
The songs that they played.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. It was a tasteful end.
That song is awesome. You can download it called "Come Join the Murder."
I have it on my Spotify.
I fucking if I'm driving on the highway, I'm jamming to that. Obviously, I won't, what happened in it while I'm listening to it, but.
Did you hear that El Pingun? He's listening to a song called "Join the Murder." It's not a rap song, everybody. That's news. But
it's like a
Tuesday, 10 p.m.
It's like a rock song.
So, why is Sons of Anarchy top 5 for you?
Well, I mean, I gotta tell you, this is like the first time.
Tops.
I don't know shit. I don't know.
There's Tony sleeping.
I don't know. I don't know nothing about any like motorcycle gangs. I knew of them, but I never knew what they did and how they operated. And it was just really cool to get a gritty look into the dark world of like real motorcycle gangs and how they operate and what they do and some of the shit that they just to make money and how fucked up and twisted some of the characters are, how they betray each other. It's the betrayal. It's so crazy. I don't want to ruin it for anybody that's probably wanting to see the show that hasn't seen it.
Dude, if they haven't watched the show by now, they ain't ever gonna watch it.
Alright, well, fuck it, bro. Let me tell you,
Fuck,
he gets
spoiled.
You see betrayals, dude's mom, dude's stepdad, fucking people that are part of his gang that are going to cops talking to him. Which, by the way, fun fact, in New Jersey, when I went to New Jersey, there's a really high-end mall my wife took me to. I didn't even know it was a high-end mall. We just walk in there. I shit you not. I realized that it was a high-end mall when I saw Juice from Sons of Anarchy. He was there shopping. Like that, yeah. Well, he was also in Luke Cage, but yeah, Juice was there.
Phil Rossi.
I was, I wanted to snitch. But,
Snitch!
Nah, he's there with his wife and his kids. They're gonna probably be like, "What's he talking about?" So, but
well,
honestly, and honestly for FX, I will tell you this: that was a very violent show.
Racy.
I did not, and very racy. I did not expect FX to air a show like that. That's a show.
I don't know why though. A lot of their good shows are racy. Rescue Me, Shield.
Yeah.
Justified is racy.
They might be able to
FX
get
does a lot of racy shows.
Yeah, they do. I mean, I've only seen on FX
now.
Yeah, I haven't watched that. I gotta start that one.
No, but let me tell you this, man. Like Sons of Anarchy. Hey, that's a good list. That's a good list, Jello. Jello's list is Breaking Bad #1, Weeds, SOA, Dexter, and then Z Nation, and then Fear of the Walking Dead.
I can't believe Dexter's not on your guys' list. It'll definitely be on my list.
I'll explain to you why as well. I can exactly.
Yeah,
the way Dexter ends.
Okay.
Yeah, and the same thing with Weeds. Weeds it started off like this, and it just went.
So the whole greatness of the show in one episode is just bad.
Not one episode. It's not one episode. It's the entire final season. And let's be honest here. Season 5 and Season 3 didn't need to happen. They were just boring.
No, but I will tell you, my favorite season of Dexter is the one with John Lithgow.
That's 4.
I fucking love that.
You want to hear something terrible? This is so terrible. I was married to Alicia when Dexter was airing. We lived across the street from her parents. We got her parents on the Dexter boat. But they had cable and we didn't. We bought DVDs and stuff like that, so we didn't get to watch the season until a year after it's aired, because that's usually how long they wait They put it on DVD. This motherfucker tells me that his wife gets killed at the end of the season 4 before I start watching. Why? Why did you do that? You took away the whole essence of the show, the entire experience that would have been created. Losing her at the end like that was like just took the character away from you. You had no idea it was gonna happen. I watched the whole season with my ex-wife, and I didn't tell her. So I got to watch at least what happened to her when she watched it, and she flipped. And then after she saw it, I looked at her and said, "You know, your dad told me how it ended a month ago." And she looks at me like, "So sorry."
Dude.
That's a terrible story. That was like the best Dexter season. And don't get me wrong, season 2 with Dokes, like, you got a lot of respect for Dokes in season 2. Like, he was the coolest character on the show at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, James Dokes was so cool. And then after, what's her name? How are you going to follow up the season where the sister shoots La Huerta with the way season 7 was? Season 7 was terrible. Terrible. It was terrible.
Weeds, the same thing with Weeds. I've watched the entire series of Weeds,
and then the worst part about it is the whole show of Dexter is based on him being a serial killer that's supposedly different from all the other serial killers. Someone who strives to be better than what he is. He wants to be more human. He wants to be this. And at the end, he was just a selfish fuck who abandoned his kid and went somewhere else so he can continue being able to kill. Like, you love Dexter throughout the entire time.
I took the ending completely different. The ending was completely different. He wanted to put himself away from everybody, and just disappear.
Why didn't he just die in the hurricane then?
I think the guys who are writing it wanted it to be a little bit different. They even talked about bringing back the show and adding a couple more seasons to it. They've talked about it already.
But that's why they ended it the way they ended it, to leave it open.
There was a lot of complications on the show that ended up happening. I don't know if you know, he ended up marrying her.
Yeah,
and
in real life.
Yeah.
And he ended up coming down. He ended up getting something that was really bad. And
yeah, he got cancer. He got cancer. He almost died, but I think that's what it was, because I heard you're talking about Michael Hall.
Yes.
Yeah, Michael C. Hall.
Michael C. Hall. Yeah, I know.
So he was pretty sick near the end of the last season.
Yeah. Well, I mean, James Gandolfini was fat. And he finished Sopranos just fine.
I like your list too. You want to hear Ronaldo's list? LP Doom 21.
I bet
Numero
you
uno.
Tales from the Crypt. I know one of them gotta be Tales from the Crypt.
He forgot that one. He put numero uno Westworld. Number 2, The Simpsons. Number 3, The Sopranos.
Okay.
Number 4, Seinfeld. Number 5, Magic City.
That number 5 is gotta.
You gotta let that one go, Ray. You gotta let that one go, bro.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna be fair. Those are his top 5. I definitely agree with Seinfeld. Now, I only think like my first top 5. My first top, like those 5 that I named are like, you could see the drama shows. But if we're talking comedy, I would have told you Seinfeld for sure.
Oh
Seinfeld.
yeah, that's a great show.
It's one of my favorite shows. That and King of Queens. I based my life.
Yes, I was gonna say that. For sitcoms, it's great. Mike and Molly's pretty funny too.
I know they canceled it because she lost weight. They wanted her to continue to be fat, and you know what? I mean,
she's getting better. Why? The character could have gotten skinnier.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
it could have.
Right, be healthy, but that's fine. But dude, as far like you were describing Dexter, but Weeds, I got heavy into that show, man. I thought
love that show.
But then, like I said, when it got into that final season and this whole thing, it's been a while since I've seen it because I've only seen it one time, and I feel like that was good
We
enough.
know you like milk, Adrian. Like that man milk. Anyways, Adrian said he likes milk on the comment. I don't know. He's trolling us.
No.
So you were saying?
Dude,
I threw Tony off
the show just ended so bizarre, man. It just, you know, it was like them and so many years later, they're all living their separate lives, and the uncle is like has like this, it's just fucking weird. I was like, you know what, this show, fuck this show, man. And then,
You know what my favorite scenes from that show was? What do you call that little area between the dick and the asshole? The coffee table. And she walks away, and there's the coffee table between them.
Bro, that was good. That was good.
No, but that show was so good. I will say this about Weeds though, the first couple seasons were so hard to watch because every episode ended on a downer. Like, something fucked up, something happened, you know, whatnot. Another travesty to this family, and it was like, God, this is difficult to watch. This is like watching Sugar Hill, but for weeks. Fucking Sugar Hill, it's so sad. You've seen Sugar Hill with Wesley Snipes. Every 10 minutes into the movie, another tragedy happens. I did like The Mysteries of Laura, but they were canceled. It's not in my top 5. Mysteries of Laura was an enjoyable show, and I just have a thing for Deborah Messing, so.
Trees.
What?
What is?
Oh, he put Tales of the Crypt as his number 5. He took out Magic City. My man! You smartened up, my friend. Even though Tales of the Crypt shouldn't be on anybody's top 5, but I'll give you that one for nostalgia.
Definitely nostalgic.
With American Horror Story, or how about the horror film thing that went on Stars?
Dude.
You're gonna pick Tales of the Crypt as your horror show franchise?
Yes, I will absolutely.
Stranger Things.
Motherfucker, that is completely different.
Completely different.
It is not completely different. It's a horror franchise. You cannot. And then Tales of the Crypt is unique. It's its own style. Yes, I'll give you that. And like I said, for nostalgia, absolutely. But the production is subpar.
It was old.
I understand. That's why it can't be a top 5.
Why can't it be a top 5?
It's too much bullshit now. I don't believe it can. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Fuck the both of you.
Listen, man.
It's old, so it can't be a top show. Whatever, Mo. Totally invalid. Totally invalidates what you say.
It's totally invalid. Yet Tony's top 5 doesn't have any old shows. I asked him the top 5 of all time. Tales of the Crypt started his top 5. How come, Tony Blu-ray? Tell me why. Tell me right now. You can't tell me because you agree.
Number 6. No,
Get the fuck out of here. That's not your number 6. That's my ass.
I'm gonna tell you something.
I'm gonna tell you something.
And I own it. Listen, and I own the whole.
I wouldn't. You know what? You know what I would believe. You know what I would believe if you told me it was your top 6. Are you afraid of the dark? Because of the Crypt.
But Are You Afraid of the Dark was different. That was the that. Listen, let me tell you something.
Goosebumps all day.
Goosebumps was good. There were times straight. Even Are You Afraid?
Garbage.
Was straight cheesy, but I still enjoyed it.
Tales of the Crypt is straight cheesy.
What the fuck?
Dog, you're gonna tell me that Tales of the Crypt was a serious show?
Are you kidding me? When was the last time you seen an episode on that show?
Hell, I even watched Demon Knight the other day. I like Tales of the Crypt.
Those movies were Bordello of Blood and Demon Knight.
How about when Danny DeVito gets sawed in half on the show?
That was a great episode.
You're absolutely right.
It was a
Top
great
5
episode,
is hard
but
to
it's
pick.
straight cheese. It is straight cheese. You cannot tell me that it's not cheesy.
Not cheese, man. God, it's free, dude. Listen, I'm gonna tell you what I don't want to watch. The American Horror Story, and it's not because I think it sucks or anything. I'm sure it's great. I just don't like clowns. I don't feel like watching clowns. I know the show's got clowns.
There's only one season with clowns.
Fuck with it, bro.
And you don't even need to watch all the seasons to get it. Every season is its own standalone season. You're gonna tell me you don't like American Horror? You haven't watched American Horror Story?
Oh,
you disappointed me. I'm disappointed in you.
Nope. I will
I'm
not
disappointed
watch
in you. I watch Game of Thrones. Why won't you watch American Horror Story?
Because my friend, Game of Thrones, the best show on television. I'm doing
American Horror Story is an excellent show, sir. It's an excellent show, and I believe it's an FX show.
Yeah, it's an FX show. It's an FX, but
just saying. Just saying.
Listen,
anyway, go ahead. Hit up number 3 because we can argue about this all night. Jeez.
It is hard to pick a top 5 because if I think back to old shows, there's a lot of old shows that I thought was freaking awesome, like the A-Team or Knight Rider and shit. Those were badass.
Knight Rider. I watched Knight Rider. I watched a few episodes of Knight Rider. We're gonna talk like old school shows. I think I used to watch Get Smart and shit like that, like old school Get Smart. I thought that was cool. Talking to his phone, shoot shit. It was pretty cool. But
we were obviously talking about modern day, the last 10 years, the last.
No. I said top 5 of all time, and this is what the both of us came up with off the top of our head. You weren't no thought to it. Or whatever, whatnot. Do not try to change the aspects of the game. Because
I was just being realistic. You don't like any of the old shows? You don't like any of the old shows?
Dude, I can't sit and watch Knight Rider. I can't sit and watch Baywatch. I can't sit and watch these shows. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. It's totally like I don't. For me, at least, you know what I mean. I'm not saying it's bad.
I can watch
I just don't understand how it can be a top 5 show about something that you can't even relate to anymore because there's such a large difference in the way we live our lives. Just our lives are totally different than the way we lived back then. But like when you watch a 70s show or an 80s show in the 90s, it still wasn't that big a difference. Like you can still get it, you can still like it. Things like that. You can't go too far back because I feel like when you sit down to watch a show, it's for something that you're relating to or something to help you work out something through your life. At least that's the way like I watch shows. Like there's a show that's out there that I really wanted to watch because I have a lot of respect for the 2 actresses and the 2 actors that are in it. It's called Grace and Frankie. It's on Netflix. It's about an older couple that their husbands became gay and blah blah blah, so they're kind of trying to figure out their life. It's just like a really dramatic comedy.
You would watch that bullshit. Watch that bullshit.
Yeah, I would. But you know what? I started watching it,
Grace
and I had to stop watching it because it just bummed me out. It would just bum me out. The shit that these women were going through. Like, for some reason, I like the older demographic movies, like About Schmidt. There's a movie with Alec Baldwin and I forget the name of it. Something's Gotta Give. I like those movies. I dig the comedies in it. Maybe it's because I see myself as an older person, or I feel like I deal with stuff that an older person would deal.
You're a grumpy old man.
I'm an old soul, I guess. I don't know. But I like those movies, but I don't like watching things from the 70s and the 80s.
But you like new things. Old souls that likes new things.
Yeah, it's weird, right? It's complicated.
You need to watch.
That's the name of the movie. It's Complicated. That was the name of the movie. It was funny.
Jack Nicholson.
Which is also a good movie.
So we could say about Mo's personality, he's about the look.
Yeah. About the look.
You're about the look. Because some of those shows were high quality, like writing and everything like that. They just didn't have the camera technology that we had now. So you look at like Boardwalk Empire, the 20s, and then like Stranger Things from like the 80s and everything like that, which was the late 70s, early 80s and stuff like that. It's about how good the writing was for the times and everything like that. And stuff like that. So the difference is just the technology. So are you just about looks? So you say it's not possible to like something back then as it is now. And that's kind of an unfair thing to say.
What I said is not that it's impossible to like something from the past. I'm not saying that it's impossible. What I'm saying is impossible for you to be your top 5. It is impossible for it to be the top 5 things that you want to watch. I have never met a person that wants to go home and catch up on Knight Rider. Sorry guys, I can't have a drink with you. I gotta go watch Knight Rider. There's nobody that's gonna do that.
I would blow your mind to tell you that I've actually interested myself to even watching black and white shows.
What, like I Love Lucy?
And like Superman with George.
I've never seen one.
It's fucking corny, but I watch it because I appreciate that kind of art. I'm being real with you. I'm not gonna tell you the.
I'm not saying. Listen, I'm not saying. Number one,
I appreciate that kind of stuff, but I get what you're saying. You know, it doesn't hold up to today, and it won't. It doesn't hold up to today's modern society, but
I don't know. I don't know. Like that. Like what I'm trying to explain. At least for me, I don't see that it can be a top 5 for somebody. How about that? Does that sound a little more fair, Mark?
I guess for people in our age group or maybe a little bit younger, it'd be really hard for them. But as we get older, they're going to shit on our top 5 and everything like that. And you may get older and not even enjoy any of the newer shows. It's doubtful because, you know, they make better and better stuff all the time.
That is a really... Listen, Mark, that is a really pessimistic thing to say about viewing life. It's like not to be excited to watch what's next or to see
I never said that. I never said that. What I said is...
That's kind of what you just said.
What I said is young people are going to shit on your shows that you loved the very most.
Young people are going to shit on my top 5 today, 20 years from now. But 20 years from now, my top 5 will change.
Maybe.
Because, I mean, that's what I do in my life now, is that I adapt to whatever's going on because you have to.
J-Lo says you're a poser.
You're a fucking poser. Fucking meat gazer. Anyway. Threw me off. Like, listen, this is what I'm saying. Listen. I had one of the really cool opportunities to work in a country club for 7 years. I met a lot of people between the 60s and their 80s. Let me tell you about the difference that I've seen in these older people. The ones who adapt to what's going on, who know how to use a smartphone, who work on using smart technology, who get the newer golf clubs and things like that, those are the people successing and going further and doing more, even with all their problems. Whether they have cancer or they have a bad marriage or whatever, whatnot. The ones stuck in their way are the ones that are regressing and degenerating and whatever. They're the ones that seem to be dying faster. And then with everything that I've gone through in my life, from where I was when I was 18 years old to where I am now, I have had to adapt to make my life work. I have had to make a change. Or to go after something that I don't know, or to learn a new trade, or et cetera, et cetera. You have to change with the time. You have to change. You have to adapt. Because if not, you're going to be miserable if you're living in the 70s. That's my opinion. Now, when I watch TV and I watch movies and I watch things that appeal to me. And whether or not I watch it after that is if it relates to me. So like when I'm watching something, like sure I'm sitting here watching a show or whatever, whatnot, but in my mind underneath, I'm thinking about whatever it is that I'm going through in that point in life. And as I'm watching the characters, it's like I'm putting myself in their shoes, or I'm putting them in mine, or I'm figuring out a way to work through my problems while watching something that I enjoy. But that's the way I use it, like it's therapy almost. Whereas Tony's talking about he's watching stuff in the 20s because he appreciates the art of it. He sees
Yeah,
things a
I
little
like
different than me. And that's okay to see things different from each other. That's why we have dialogue and that's why we have debate and things like that. I just don't understand how somebody can use a show that's completely out of rank, that's done, even though it was a futuristic show. Like, the future on that show is in the past to us now. Like, I don't understand why that would be enjoyable. But then at the same time, I didn't watch Knight Rider, so I don't know.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I laugh my ass off when I see the Superman, the black and white Superman. He fucking. And no, I'm not even joking. YouTube that shit. He fucking runs and he jumps out the window, and it's like he does like a little jump, and he hops out the window, and then you see him flying, and all it is just him just standing there, and it's making that noise. And he's just standing still. He's not fucking moving. All you see is just the background just going like this.
That's great.
I'm like, wow, that is funny. And then when he grabs the bad guy, he's like, all right, you. And then he gives him like a fucking weird punch, and then you hear like a loud, and then
pow.
It's just a bunch of. It's funny to see that shit. Oh, it's crazy what they did in the fucking 1950s. You know, when Hollywood was.
I mean, you guys are probably a little more enlightened than I am. I mean, it's just a different opinion.
I personally, you know what? It's only certain shows that I'll go back and watch, man. The shows that I like. Taxi. Did you ever heard? See, now Taxi is a show that I think people would appreciate because you have Danny DeVito, Christopher Lloyd, Andy Kaufman.
A lot of great comedians.
Fucking hilarious show, man.
Yeah. What about the original Law and Orders? I like those shows. I can sit down and watch a Law and Order show.
Law and Order.
I mean, I don't think you would like a Law and Order show just by the look on your face when I said
Law and Order.
You know, fucking Tony's face went from happy to, I don't want to think about the law. Fuck the order. Ain't nobody want this shit.
Hey, man.
Alright. We got a little bit off track a little bit.
Yeah,
so,
we certainly did.
It was a good conversation, though. A really good conversation. That was a good conversation. But let's get through your last 3 shows before it gets too late and everybody starts falling asleep. People are already falling asleep on us.
So, what's going to be number 3 that we share?
You can kind of already see it there. Now, in order, that would probably be a pretty tough order to put it in. I don't know. I think the order is probably pretty close.
Order right there.
Where would you put Breaking Bad? Oh, I forget. You're still watching Game of Thrones right now, so you haven't been sucked into the void yet.
Exactly. Listen. Okay. Listen. I'm just gonna tell Tony my top 3, really quick, so that he knows it and everybody knows it, and you guys can watch the clips with us if you want. The reason I put it in this order is exactly what Mark just said. I'm in the middle of watching Game of Thrones. It has drawn me in. I will give it to you. It is an interesting show. I am genuinely interested to see what happens next. But I haven't reached the point that you reached yet on the show. So for me, Game of Thrones is number 2. Only because I haven't seen it all yet. It might become number 1. I don't know. But Breaking Bad is number 1 for me. The growth of every character on this show from beginning to end is amazing journey. An amazing journey. It's a show that I have sat and watched 6 or 7 different times from beginning to end. I just think it was so awesomely done. It was like Bryan Cranston broke the ceiling of how people saw him. You know, you got the birth of Jesse, so you get to see him work. There's a lot of really good supporting actors in the show. I just thought the show was so well done. So it's my number 1. And obviously, the fucking Sopranos will always be top 3. Because in my opinion, nobody can match the powerful presence of James Gandolfini on the screen playing Tony Soprano. even if you watch a James Gandolfini movie where he's just a small, like an actor in it for 15 minutes, when he's on the screen, you are so drawn to him. Like, he just has this strength. He's such a good actor. It's so sad that he passed. It's really sad because I wanted to see how much further he can do. He's an actor that's played on Broadway. He's done a lot of different things. It's not just the silver screen. He was one hell of a fucking actor, and really sad that he's not here anymore. So Sopranos is my number 3. Sopranos used to be number 1.
Yeah, they were
inspirational acting for sure.
Oh yeah, strong acting, and the drama in it is just so fucking entertaining. It was such a good show. It was well written. You know, it was really cliche Italian mob movie made into a show. It was excellent. So my top 3 was Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, and then Sopranos. I'm sure Tony's is Game of Thrones, Sopranos, then Breaking Bad.
So we'll go. What we'll do here is we'll watch The Sopranos. We'll let Tony do his obvious top 3, which is right there, and talk about why. And then, but let's watch this Sopranos trailer.
Marriage, or any partnership for that matter, is a give and a take. We are a family, so we're gonna deal with this as a family. All due respect, you got no fucking idea what it's like to be number 1.
There he is.
Don't let anyone ever make you feel like you don't have any options, because you got
Full
friends.
Steve Poppins
Friends that will
Darrow.
die for you.
I love.
Any thoughts at all on why you blacked out?
I don't know. Stress, maybe.
Such a good show.
Is everybody in my life bananas?
You know his son is an actor, right?
Yeah.
James Gandolfini's son is an actor. He's actually a decent actor.
Kill me now.
Isn't it ironic that he had his heart attack in Sicily?
You are his mother, and I don't think for one second that
Yeah.
you don't know what you're doing.
Sucks.
Grandma just called
And
me.
then,
Started crying and hung up. So what? No fucking ZD now?
Not getting any satisfaction from my work either.
What line of work are you in?
Waste management consultant.
I forgot all about the mom. That fucking mom, man.
Just when they thought I was out.
Mama Soprano.
You know, it's so crazy. They wanted to continue on the show.
Our true enemy.
I wanted her to continue on the show. She passed away. Dude.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, or no, yeah, she passed away because she did pass away after season 2. She passed away. Honestly, it was one of those seasons that the lady in real life had passed away, so they pretty much had to, you know, kill her on the show. But they
Damn, Angelo, that was kind of messed up.
They're like, what?
Angelo just commented on YouTube about how Game of Thrones is the midget going around fucking the elves while the white-haired bitch strokes the dragon's dick while gliding mud air, dropping egg.
There's no damn elves in the show, and we don't. That's what I said. Like, what is he watching? He's watching like the porn, like this pornographic Ring of Lord of the Rings version or something. It's like weird.
Game of Thrones. Yeah.
He's seen the show, right, or no?
Angelo,
he is. There's no way.
Obviously not. If he's thought, Angelo, if you're talking this badly about Game of Thrones, it's showing that you haven't watched it. Because let me tell you something, man. I watched the first season when it aired. I was against Game of Thrones. I didn't like it. I thought they killed off the best actor. I thought the rest of the acting wasn't good. I did not enjoy it at all. And I have not watched Game of Thrones for 6 years. The man you see on this screen has been bitching at me for a year to watch it. He gave me access to his Voodoo account so that I can watch it. Because he wanted to make sure that I watched it. Because after like 8 months, I finally caved and I was like, "Listen, I'll watch
I
the
helped
show,
though.
but you gotta let me the DVD."
I helped with that though, Tony.
And Mark, exactly, the other guy on the screen, was a Tony Blu-ray GOT advocate because he started talking to me about the show. He's like, "No, you need to watch this show." He started talking to me about the characters and his favorite characters. And Tony, you want to hear something funny? You and Mark told me the same thing about the little Stark girl. The exact same thing. You guys share the exact same opinion. So I'm not gonna lie, Angelo. With a like Tony gave me the access to his Voodoo account like 6 months ago, and I just started watching it. It's pretty good. It made it in my top 5. That's how good it is, and I'm not even halfway through the show.
I'm gonna tell you now, you're in 3, but just like right after, I'd say right after 3, it just gets so much better.
Like, Jello's like, it's an okay show. He just got no time for it.
It just
I don't
like
disagree. It's hard to find the time.
Sorry, the show's gonna end soon. They'll be able to go back and binge it. It's people binge. I find that once people get past the first maybe few episodes of the first season, and they just continue to watch it and look it out because it's 10 episodes. Season
I
7
didn't care for it either, Angelo. I'm telling you, man. I was totally against it. It has drawn me in, man.
Listen, nobody can deny, and I'm sorry, anybody can argue, that is literally the best show, or the greatest show to be on television. As far as storytelling, you got characters, the goddamn cinematography, that they put into each episode is ridiculous. What they said that they did in this season that's coming up in April, which I would tell you, Mo, hurry up to finish the show before it starts, or some asshole for you. But they spent like, I think in one episode they spent over $15 million, which is crazy. And I've always read that when they spend a lot of episode in Dragon, because that's when they spend
they gotta pay for that CGI, bro.
Yeah, so they
and the CGI is really good on it, like the dragons that I've seen. And let me tell you something, Joe. Like, it's not just, like medieval. You're watching some medieval shit or some Middle Earth shit, with swords and horses and blah blah blah, etc., etc. Like, they do some OG cold ass fucking shit. Like, they play like the same little hood games that we play, little mind games and stuff like that. And the dialogue is amazing. The writing on the show is really good. The actors, from where they were in the first season to where they are at this point, the growth of the acting is really amazing. I can't really find anything bad to say about the show at all. And trust me, I was looking, because any chance I get to argue with Tony Blu-ray over content, I'm gonna fucking do it. You know what I mean? So for some reason, my television shut off.
Well, let's talk about the next on the list.
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad.
You're breaking me bad.
You guys ready for this trailer?
Yeah, man, shoot it up.
Sure.
Happy birthday. So, how did it feel to be old?
Walter White Jr.
Chemistry. It is the study of change.
It is growth, then decay, then transformation.
Walt, we love you, man. We love you. Everybody, to Walt!
You understood what I just said? Lung cancer.
You heard it.
Inoperable.
I heard something.
A substantial amount of methamphetamine being taken off the streets.
Hank, how much money is that?
It's about 700 grand. It's easy
Say
money.
my name.
Why don't you say the word and I'll take you on a ride?
You really want to live in the world without
Just
coke?
knock down a meth lab.
Walter White, man. Amazing show. If you haven't watched Breaking
You know
Bad,
the business.
go home and put your head through the wall. You're fucking dumbass.
Good crystal meth.
Yeah,
Cooking is
Actually, it's
Great show.
chemistry.
I told like it's in my three. It definitely is.
Tell me why you do this.
I am
top.
You're going to be something.
You know, I met a person who refused to watch that show because they didn't want to give in to the hype.
Well, that's just good.
And then they were telling me I don't like Bryan Cranston. I hate Bryan Cranston. But they'll go watch the Godzilla movie with Bryan Cranston.
Honestly though, Bryan Cranston is very, very, and an excellent actor. And
this is what showed everybody how excellent he was.
You know what show I really liked him in?
Don't you say Malcolm in the Middle.
He was hysterical. Show. You needed to watch that show to just.
I did watch that show. I didn't like it.
He was funny. He was funny as hell.
I'm not saying it wasn't funny. It was funny, but I didn't like it.
That whole family, that guy to White is like jump, and what's even bigger jump? Bryan Cranston was on Seinfeld.
On what?
He was on Seinfeld. He was Jerry Seinfeld's dentist.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, bro. One of the episodes of he was making anti-Semitic joke. Jerry Seinfeld, Seinfeld's like, what the hell, like, why are you making me? Oh, it's okay. I converted to Judaism, so I can do this. You know how we are, Bro, it's hilarious. You gotta find that shit on YouTube. There's even an episode where Bryan Cranston and his assistant put Jerry Seinfeld to sleep, and Jerry wakes up and his shirt's unbuttoned. Like,
oh yeah, I've seen that episode. It's on Seinfeld.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. I've seen that episode. Seinfeld's a great show. Great show.
So you think? Okay, so Breaking Bad. You're content with it being a short. I felt like it was. I know the story. I wanted more. Why I wanted more.
I don't understand how you could want more. I think if they went any further with it, it would have became paquete.
It's probably because I was really. Like
I didn't want the show to end. To me, the worst part about watching shows is when they end.
Well, I also
even with a good ending, I get bummed. I'm like, damn, I ain't gonna watch this no more.
I'm not gonna lie. Just think is it better than Sopranos? That was what really. I sat there and I really thought about what The Sopranos brought to the table, and they brought a lot to the table.
But this is the thing, though. Listen, this is the thing. This is the reason why I say Breaking Bad surpasses Sopranos. Because even Sopranos, as good as it was, it's still in the nostalgia demographic. Because it's old school mob, bro. When we were growing up, our favorite movies were Goodfellas, Scarface, and don't you say Godfather, because when we were kids, we didn't really like The Godfather. As we gotten older, we like it. Donnie Brasco. These are old school mob movies from the 90s, the 80s, whatever, that we grew up watching, that we enjoyed. And The Sopranos broke, some ice and made it a show. Now it's not just a movie. We get to watch a whole show of fucking mob shit going on. Freaking hookers, drugs, corruption, their own little family dramas, things like that. Sopranos broke the ice. But Breaking Bad, bro, broke the ice for what every struggling person thinks about. There's not a person in this world who busts their ass every day or whatever, who never had that little thought in the back of their head, oh, I could probably make money doing that. I'm not gonna do that because I'm not that kind of person, obviously, because it's wrong, blah, blah, blah. But it really broke that ice. And on top of that, all the actors that they got in that weren't big actors. They were actors that have been around for a while. Maybe B-list. We can call them B-list actors. And it became the best fucking show to watch. The Sopranos had star power, had a really strong production behind it. They had a lot of edges. And that whole mob part, that whole mafia thing, dude, that's easy money and on the silver screen. Everybody wants to see a good mob movie.
I'll tell you right now.
Who doesn't like a good mob movie?
No. The Sopranos actually did not have star power. Eddie Falco.
She played a small role, dude. I'm talking about James Gandolfini. It had the captain from Bad Boy, Silvio, the guy with the wingtips.
Exactly. You can't even name those guys. You can only name James Gandolfini. So that's
what about Lorraine Bracco?
Lorraine Bracco only was good in freaking Goodfellas was her biggest movie.
How about Christopher?
His biggest movie was Goodfellas when he got shot in the foot because he was Spider.
No, he was in what's that movie with Anthony Anderson?
Yeah, but who really?
Baby Daddy.
Method Man? Really?
That movie was funny. You're gonna tell me that movie wasn't funny? Being a young father, that movie was hilarious. Oh, what you do, baby? Drop the pickle juice? What happened here? Dude, I didn't even know why that was funny until I had a baby. When I had a baby, I finally found out why that was funny. That's fucking funny.
You're crazy.
That movie was funny. Anyways, in my opinion, Sopranos had a lot more edge. I feel like Breaking Bad broke a lot more ceilings, and it's more relatable. It's more relatable.
It's a relatable underdog story. The story of the underdog.
It really is. And then on top of that, like, I understand, like, the mob movie is relatable to like you and I, like how we grew up and the way we think and things like that. But even if you and I were connected to that world, we would never be made. We're fucking Cuban. They don't make Cubans.
No,
you gotta be full Italian.
Oh, shit. Well, my headphones are out of battery. Hear me good?
Well, we still hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay, good. No, man. I'll tell you right now. The thing is with The Sopranos, it wasn't just the fact that, you know, mob but dude, you get the human side of Tony Soprano. You get that human side of a person. You get to see that other side that you really don't get to see. Some of these mob movies, you just get to see all the action, all the stuff that they have to cram into. They have more time in a show. What I really like about the show is just how you get to develop as a character. You know.
Can you answer a question for me?
What's that?
From beginning to end, how did Tony Soprano's character grow? From where he starts to where he ended. Where did he get from?
Well, he started off as a capo, trying to. He's smart. What he did was smart. He made his uncle think that he was in charge, and really it was just for show, so that the FBI would believe that Junior Soprano was the boss, and Tony Soprano was really the boss. Was just, you know, kind of flying under the radar as capo, whatever you call. Dude, as a person, Tony Soprano, you know, what I can tell you, he developed. He became douchier as time went on. As more time went on, he was a dick. He was a dick to his wife. He treated her like shit. He cheated on her all the time. You know.
He wasn't doing that in the beginning?
It wasn't as bad as it was like season 4 and 5 split.
Well, listen, this is my
4 and 5 when they split.
This is my argument, though, like, to what you're saying. I get what you're saying. It shows him as a low-level captain playing the fucking boss's mind against himself, so that he's actually running shit without the title. and then he grows into this really super paranoid mob boss. He starts killing off all his friends, doing all kinds of shit. But let me ask you a question.
He killed him off with good reason. Pussy was a snitch.
That's the only one he killed off with good reason.
Ralph killed this fucking horse. You don't kill horses.
Get the fuck out of here.
You don't kill horses.
Killed the girl.
He killed the damn horse. Aside from killing the girl, Pio Mai, look it up. Ralph kills Pio
I know that he
Mai.
kills the horse. I know that he killed the horse.
Lost his mind and that's when Tony Soprano went to his house and Ralph was cooking breakfast and he was like, he realized he fucking killed the horse. He was like, it was an animal. It was a fucking animal.
No, he killed Ralphie after he killed that little girl because he thought that little girl was like his daughter. That's why he killed Ralphie. But this is what I want. This is what I want to say to you. No, this is the point that I was trying to make. The Sopranos was on for 5 seasons, right?
Yes.
From beginning to end, it was pretty predictable. The way it starts to the way it ends, in at least the growth of Tony Soprano, who is the main character. You could have done that in a mob movie where a guy comes up the ranks, gets his position, celebrates with his friends. We're doing great. Oh, fucking food on me, drinks on me. Everybody's living the life. To I can't trust nobody. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to make moves on my own. That kind of growth, that was predictable growth.
No, he didn't.
From where Breaking Bad begins to where Breaking Bad ends, you can't tell me that you called that in the first season.
The what? That Walter White was gonna have? He was gonna sell drugs and getting some shit.
That he was gonna. But no, not just that, dude. It's not that. It's not just that he got mixed up with the wrong people, bro. He became the wrong person. He became ruthless. He became cold. He got that Stone Cold OG-ness.
So,
you didn't see that at the beginning.
Well, no,
you didn't see that in the beginning.
He was a fucking chemistry teacher, and he didn't know what he was getting into. With Tony Soprano, he was already a boss, dude. The show pretty much started with everybody already respecting.
That's why I'm saying that you can't compare the growth.
Tony didn't have any paranoia. It was just the fact that he made wrong choices.
Fuck The Walking
to
Dead, Angela. Hate that show.
Walking Dead, man, that show lost. I lost that show. No offense to those who. No offense to those.
Oh, I tend to offend you. Fuck The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead.
It's true, he does. The Darryls were pretty cool.
My favorite.
Darryls.
Nah, man. You know, the thing is with, you know, The Sopranos that I like so much is, you know, that show, they literally made that first season and they didn't think that show was gonna stick, and it stuck.
That show was awesome.
None of them. If you look up on YouTube their latest interview. They interviewed all the characters for their anniversary. They talked to all the characters, and each and every one of the main characters in the show, they had an interview. Except, of course, for James Gandolfini. But a lot of them did talk. You know, one of the things that I like about it, you know, that they said about him was that every time they were in a take, he was the guy in the show. He was the main star in the show. So whenever he was in, people listened to what he had to say. So whenever a take was done, they would just be like, okay, you know, like they didn't give a shit about the other actor. James's take was good. It was like, all right, it's good. He was like, no, hold on. He was like, yo, let's say he's doing a scene with Paul and Eddie Falco. Hey, are you good? Is that scene okay with you? Sure, we could run it again. Well, like, yo, that shit's good, man. I like.
No, listen. I don't want you to take my argument. It was in my top 5 too, man. Like, I think that show is amazing. But when you're talking about growth of characters, I don't think that the characters grew very much. And if they did grow some, it was like a predictable growth. That's where you saw him going. You know that's where he's going to reach. Like with Christopher, you know, you knew the kid had his potential, but he had his demons. And when you see somebody who has like problems with addiction on a show, one of two things are gonna happen. One, they're gonna get worse, or two, they're gonna get better. It's just two things that can happen. That's it. Now the more logical idea is he's gonna get worse. It's not easy to come out of something like that. And he gets better for a little bit, so you think he's gonna grow and he's gonna do this and he's gonna do that, and then he just gets really bad into it. And then the only reason he dies is because Tony stopped trusting him. Tony let him die.
No, Tony choked him.
Because Tony wanted to protect the baby. Because he felt like if Christopher stayed in the baby's life, that he's not going to be a good dad. So that he made this decision based on his trust for letting him go and being himself and things like that.
No,
That's
man,
not why?
He killed him. Listen, he killed him when Christopher and him got into that car. He killed him. He looked at Tony and said, Tony, you got to get me out of here. I'll never pass the drug test. Tony and him, he made Tony a pact that he would never use again. He looked at Tony and said, I will never pass the drug test. And then right there, Tony was like, this. He went around and he killed him because in the mafia, they don't play with drugs. They don't deal with that shit. They told him, yo, that shit will fuck with your head. That shit, they don't do anything that's going to cloud their judgment like drugs. So that's like a big no-no. The same thing with, yes, with drugs. Yeah. It's the same thing that happened in Goodfellas. They told him get off that shit. He fucking...
And then he snitches. He does all that shit. So they went a different route on Goodfellas. They went this way. That's what I'm saying. I mean, the acting was great.
That was a lot of change after he killed Christopher.
It broke his heart.
Tony's character started changing when he killed Pussy Pompensero, because Pussy Pompensero was like Tony's right-hand man that he loved as a brother, and he fucking had to kill him. So
that was a great,
lot of different things.
That was like a really great 7 episodes.
You know,
how that dragged out.
Yeah, because I didn't, you know, that season it left you thinking like maybe way wasn't, and finally Tony had that dream where he saw the bass talking and the bass kind of told. But you know, it's a lot of different things. Listen, Breaking Bad is my favorite. I love that show. That show it is a great show. It has a great story. I love the characters. I love some of the villains. Show like what's his name? The fucking the dude that runs the chicken.
Gus.
Yeah.
That was great.
See, I don't.
Yeah, no, that was a great show. So that's, in my opinion, that's why Breaking Bad surpasses The Sopranos. For me, that's my argument. As I'm not saying like I'm nobody, man. I'm just a fan. You know, it doesn't mean I'm right or you're right or he's right or whatnot. But I like to have these kind of discussions. In my opinion, Breaking Bad surpasses Sopranos. But I mean, you can keep it. U.S. Today agrees with you. Sopranos is number 1. Breaking Bad's number 2.
USA Today. Yeah.
We got one more. We got one more trailer, don't we, Mark?
Yes. And so,
hey, Mark,
it's
not the latest trailer.
Is it the very first trailer?
No.
Because you don't want to spoil anything for Mo if it's the last trailer that came out.
It doesn't spoil nothing, though. It's kind of like
I'm not listening to the sound either. So
it really, the trailer doesn't really spoil anything. There's some visuals of Sansa. There's some visuals of the war and some dragons. That doesn't really spoil much of anything. It's a teaser on overall.
That's pretty much where I kind of see it going. I see that girl shoving the dragons in the Seven Kingdoms ass toward the end of this show. I really feel like she's gonna win. She's gonna take the Iron Throne. Nobody's gonna beat her in them dragons.
A lot of people they're actually bad. People are doing that shit where they're trying to say who. But one of the things that keeps hitting me is every time the writers, the writers have always said, well, not the writer, not just the writers, but George R. also said the show not end the way you expect it to, or the or the way you would. Pretty much that. I guess he's trying to say like it may just end in a way where like, oh wait, Cersei Lannister is the fucking, she's gonna be the queen, or
that would be the worst way to end it.
Or there's so many different things I don't even want to tell you because where you are right now.
Let this man play that trailer for them Hawks.
Yeah, I thought he was playing.
We're gonna start it now.
Wait, no.
Yo, close your eyes. Close your eyes. This is the trailer. Damn it, Mark. This is the.
It doesn't show nothing.
He's got many faces.
You sure?
Yes.
Man, because
I've watched this
already.
already.
Who's alive?
He's in season 3.
It's gonna show me who's alive.
It doesn't.
Oh, that dude survived.
Why are you messing with him?
I'm just playing, man. Don't worry about it, Tony. I'm gonna be alright. It's my bad for waiting this long. It's my own fault.
I'll be damned. Damn it. Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you anything. I'm not gonna tell you any of these.
No, don't say nothing to me. I still gotta watch the last season of Vikings. I love Vikings too. That didn't make my top 5. You ever seen the show Vikings? Oh yeah. Yes. Those dragons.
I don't know what that means.
You don't know what means.
So look at those dragons.
Oh, there was dragons on the screen.
I promise to fight for the living.
Dragons aren't on Vikings. There's no dragons. Man, them dragons got big, boy.
Yeah, I probably saw that trailer like 7 times in a row. I went back and I forward. I was like, yo, this is crazy.
No, I gotta say it, man. The only reason Game of Thrones is number 2 right now is because I'm only in the 3rd season.
Dude,
if you haven't started watching this show, you should watch this show. It is an enjoyable show. It is really good. It has drawn me in. I know it's Tony's number 1, and it's not even completed show yet.
It's not even completed. It's number 1. Until now, and we'll talk about that after, but for now it's definitely gonna be number 1. But dude, like I guarantee you, Mo is on season 3, episode 6. So I guarantee you, by the end of this season 3, you will be texting me so many curse words, so many things. You're gonna be your mind is, what the fuck is happening right now? I promise you. And you'll text me and let me know, and I'll laugh at you. And I'll tell you, just continue on, and you'll see how this just keep going down the rabbit hole.
It's definitely so far has been a very nice ride.
What's good about this show now is that they're gonna go back and try to do a prequel to this show, to these stories, and then of course I can't wait for Disney to drop their show, The Mandalorian. And
so what you're saying is we're gonna get a little bit of Ned Starks and the Mad King and what they went through.
Right. We're gonna get all those stories. We're gonna get all.
That's cool.
All that. We're gonna see all that. It's gonna be cool. And then another good thing that I don't know if you know, but it's in production. It's actually The Sopranos. The Sopranos is having a prequel. Like they have somebody playing Tony Soprano's father. They have somebody playing, like, you get to know, like, a lot of the times in the show, The Sopranos, they always refer back to some of the things that his dad used to do with his uncle Junior and all that stuff, and Paulie and all that. So now we get to see all that. They're gonna go back and do the same writers, same directors. They brought everybody except, of course, they're gonna bring in new actors. Is all. I've been actually reading on them. But
I'm excited to watch that.
Mandalorian finally getting a show about Star Wars. It's a show about, I think it's Boba Fett, or I want to say the guy who was on the cover looked like Boba Fett. Yeah, it's a Star Wars show.
So it's going to be Jango Fett?
I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know.
Boba Fett's dead.
Yeah, he is. No, Jango Fett, he died. That was his dad.
Yeah, the dad's dead too. So,
but I don't know. I don't know if this is like I gotta see.
There's a whole. I don't know how familiar you are, but there's a whole entire group of fans that have created this entity also of the Mandalorians, which are the bounty hunters, in all different styles, looks, and everything like that, with a certain attitude and a certain way of life and everything like that. And that's where like this big fan base shows up at all the Star Wars things, and they're all the Mandalorians and everything like that. So this is gonna be pretty cool that they're actually gonna make a TV series off of that, off of this whole like group of bounty hunters and ideals and rules and everything like that. It's gonna be pretty cool.
There you go. That's what it is, dude.
I'm not even gonna lie. I am rock hard right now. I'm all for a Star Wars show.
Well, here's the other thing too that I also heard, because once Disney starts their streaming, they launch, and they're gonna need Netflix, or try to need Netflix in the balls. I don't know how they're gonna do that, but they're gonna try. I mean, I know Disney's gonna be very successful, but they're saying that the writers from Game of Thrones, the writers are going to write a show for Star Wars. They're gonna write yeah, and I think that's gonna be awesome. They did a great job clearing the game, so I can only imagine they're gonna do what they can do with Star Wars.
You're saying the Game of Thrones writers are gonna write Star Wars?
Yeah, they're gonna write the shows. Yeah, I'll look.
I heard something about that. I did. Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna fucking, dude, I can't wait. It's gonna be, I'm just really excited with what Disney's gonna do, because I already know after Avengers Endgame, they're gonna take a break with Marvel movies. They're gonna take a little break, and then
we're not gonna get any Marvel movie till 2021.
And then we could focus on Star Wars. That's it. Focus on Star Wars. Get Rian Johnson. I don't know why they're gonna let this guy direct the other trilogies, because him and J.J. Abrams don't get along. So that's why J.J. Abrams took over and directed Episode 9, but I heard that they didn't get along, so they pretty much gave him his own project where he's going to do another trilogy. Like, he's working on another trilogy, Rian Johnson, after this Episode 9, from what I understand.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't know that Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams didn't get along. I didn't know that. I'm sure they have
I heard on the Episode 9 movie that George Lucas is coming on to consult.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams actually, and I forgot the name, Kathleen Kennedy brought him on, and she wanted, and they wanted him to kind of give his 2 cents. He is a good storyteller. It's just, and I think he's a good director. I just feel like, he didn't do very well with Phantom Menace or Clone Wars. I felt like Revenge of the Sith was actually pretty decent. I really enjoyed it. Episode 1, I'm a Star Wars fan. I still go back and I watch it. I try to enjoy it. I really try, but then I hear Jar Jar Binks talk, and I'm like, why, George? Why? Why did you put the son of... But then you go back and you read that theory, and I think I hope that theory could be possible, but you want to
know the truth behind that theory? When he was making episode, no, it's not that it was made up. When he was making Episode 1, and you know how when they make something, they kind of air it for like a test group or
Yeah.
whatever to see everybody's reaction to the characters and stuff.
Yeah.
George had plans for Jar Jar Binks. He was gonna make him that Sith Lord, actually the master behind the Apprentice thing. It was originally supposed to be him, but nobody liked it.
Damn
Nobody could stand the character. So instead of rewriting and doing everything different and blah blah blah, he just focused on the Emperor. They added the Emperor's scenes in episode 1, and then that's why the Emperor or whatever. Which I don't understand how you could do that, because we already knew the Emperor was the master.
That is true.
He's Darth Vader's master in 4, 5, and 6. He made 4, 5, and 6 first.
That is very true.
So it's kind of like a contradicting story, but that's what I read somewhere about that. And I mean, just like, let's be honest, man, like Jar Jar Binks, yeah, annoying fucking character. And they're trying to say that his luck was actually, you know, him being one with the Force, and he just had that awkwardness to... No, he wasn't awkward. He was just straight shameful. Shameful, falling over everything, and everything is working out for him. What kind of message are we sending these millennials? Like, it's okay, just keep fucking up. Shit will work out. Yeah, he was a terrible character. But I enjoyed episode 1, 2, and 3. I enjoyed them all. I like them. Do I think they're better than 4, 5, and 6? Nothing's going to ever be better than the originals, but I still thought they were great. I know they got shitted on a lot by fanboys. One of my very favorite scenes is a scene that has nothing to do with the movie on episode 2. Obi-Wan goes into this club looking for the Klingon, and fucking Mouse from The Matrix is like a drug dealer in the club, and he walks over to Obi-Wan, he goes, "Hey, you want to buy these death sticks?" And Obi-Wan, like, he does his mind trick, he goes, "You don't want to sell me death sticks." "I don't want to sell you death sticks." He puts it away. "You want to go home and rethink your life?" "I'm going to go home and rethink my life." Every time I watch that scene, I laughed so hard. And anybody that's around me in the room just kind of looks at me like, that ain't funny. Like, it's funny. I liked it. I thought it was great. To this day, I still laugh out loud. But I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Personally, I'm disappointed with 7 and 8. I don't like it. I know I get the same look from a lot of different people. I feel like Part 7 is A New Hope 2.0. That's what I think about Part 7. I think they're lazy as shit and just rewrote A New Hope to be more modern. And Part 8, the coolest scene, the coolest fight scene that we get in Part 8 is between Kylo Ren and a hologram.
Technically, he wasn't a hologram.
He was a projection of himself.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So, a lot of the answers that we thought were the questions that we thought were gonna be answered from Part 7, we just got more questions with Part 8. It doesn't seem like they were going in the direction that they were setting it up as.
And that's what they did in Empire Strikes Back. They left you with more questions. Now you know Luke Skywalker's father is Darth Vader, but then the conversation between the two, Yoda and the hologram, Obi-Wan, he says, "Oh, you know, he's much, you know, I forgot what Yoda says. There was another." So imagine when you're a kid and you watch it and you're, there's another Jedi there, and you find out in Return of the Jedi that it's Leia. So I'm hoping that in Episode 9, J.J. Abrams be smart enough to answer all the questions we have about Rey.
Are you gonna say that Rey is gonna become Kylo Ren's brother and sister, and they were actually both Han Solo's kids?
I feel like
they took that out. There's no way they made her. The point of the very last one was that she wasn't a descendant from anything special, but she was still able to harness the Force. So it's about about how the Force works.
And then and that's why it ended with seeing that child grabbing the broom using the Force. I mean, that's what. See, now I believe though she does have some kind of a bloodline, of but then again we don't know. A dark, some kind of dark lord. Could it be a Jedi?
See, like the reason that I shit on it so much is because at least in episode 1, 2, and 3, you get some really cool lightsaber battles. Some really cool ones. Like on Part 8, you think that you're gonna get this battle between Kylo Ren and Rey with Smoke or whatever the fuck his dumbass cut in half name is. That was so weak. That was so weak. That's like when the Emperor died, just throw his ass off the fucking balcony, no fight at all.
I thought it was. I felt like when I saw that part, I was disappointed. Excuse me. I was disappointed. I was disappointed with him just doing a move and then he just cut the dude in half, and I was like, okay, great. So now they're gonna fight these people. But then at that point in time, what I think they did right there was just kind of throw you off to make you believe that somehow now Kylo Ren
might be good.
Be good. But then, right then and there, as soon as they're done, he looks at Rey and he basically tells her, like, let's get the fuck out of here. Fuck all these people. And, we're gonna just rule the galaxy. Like, no, dude. Like, let's be good. He's like, no, bitch. Fuck this shit, like, and then he just leaves to be bad, and she, thinking that he still has some good in him. No, he killed his dad. No,
and I just feel like Kylo Ren is so weak. Like he's just so. I don't think he's that cool, man.
No,
like I don't.
Man,
a lot of people argue with me. I know. I know.
So that makes him unpredictable.
I know, but what I'm trying to say is, like, a lot of people, when I say that, their argument to me is that, well, Anakin was a big-ass crybaby. You're right. Anakin was a big-ass crybaby. We got the origin story of Darth Vader, but we got 3 episodes of some bad motherfucker named Darth Vader. To this day, people still want to beat Darth Vader. This is a villain from the 70s. People think Darth Vader is cool as shit. How are you going to follow up Darth Vader with that?
Because the thing is, that was why that's the whole thing. You don't realize that Kylo Ren is immature because even Supreme Leader Snoke told him, take that ridiculous mask off your face. Like, you're not Darth Vader, bro. Get that fucking mask off and look me in the eyes so I can see your pussy-ass Han Solo face.
See, look, I don't want him...
You
I don't want him to be Darth Vader. I want him to be better than Darth
Vader. And well, that's the thing. That's the thing. It won't happen. He doesn't have it. And he knows
doesn't, no.
No, and he knows he doesn't have it because he sees it in Rey. That's why he's so adamant about her joining forces with him.
Shh.
Because she's powerful.
Telling him stuff. So to giving it away. Let Mo get it. Let Mo make the connection. Let him make the connection.
Mark?
He's trying to...
What are you doing, Mark? What are you doing? Let him make his point.
He's making a good point. I don't want him to give away like the idea of what you're missing. You need to watch it. You need to watch it again and get the idea.
Watched it.
How many? Not enough times, bro. You gotta get it, man.
Rey is good. Rey is not going to be Darth Vader. Rey is not going to be.
He
Darth
didn't say
Vader.
that.
She is not going to be.
He didn't.
I didn't say, but he sees something in her that scares him. I'm telling you, and so does Luke. Luke senses something because even then, when he looked at her, I'm telling you, there's a lot of things. Listen, just like you, when I saw Last Jedi the first time I saw it, I go, okay, I'm leaving here saying. After I watched it, I said, okay, Empire Strikes Back is still my favorite Star Wars. So, yes. This movie was good, but not as good as I thought it was. so see again, because maybe I'm just, you know, maybe it was just because I was just so excited and amped. I got a Star Wars movie. Fuck yes! Oh my god! And then even the beginning, it threw me off with a bit of the comedy, you know, with Poe Dameron and General Hux. When, oh, it's General Hux? Yeah, I like to talk, you know, pasty white guy. You know what I'm talking about? Like what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't get that kind of comedy, you know. But I guess since Han Solo's gone, gotta use him.
You know what else I don't like about the new Star Wars?
They killed Han Solo.
You hate what?
No, I hate Finn.
I mean, he's not there to make you love him. But at this point, I'm trying to figure out what's his purpose right now, because after watching Last Jedi, I thought his purpose, he could have. Could he have been in the movie? Maybe, maybe not. I don't. I could have been fine with it. But
dude, Finn's purpose in the movie is he's gonna fuck Rey and they're gonna make little Jedi babies.
No, she's not gonna do that. I don't think so,
I feel like that's gonna happen.
I don't know, because he's in love with the Asian chick now. The Asian chick loves him. What? The Asian
the sister
chick
dies.
Yeah, the sister. Yeah. So he's into the some dumb hole. You know?
She died.
No,
the sister dies in the beginning.
Yeah, the sister died in the beginning, but this girl didn't die.
And then the little Asian girl dies. She takes his place and dies.
No,
he was gonna kill himself and sacrifice himself for the team. She dies.
Dude. You're gonna fucking make me watch this movie again? She didn't die.
She dies right before Luke Skywalker and Kylo Ren have their little face off. She's dead. She's gone. She saved his life.
When they're blasting the big, giant, I forget what the thing is called.
Mark, let him get it. Let him get it, Mark. Let him watch it again and get it.
No, I'm not gonna watch that shit. I'm trying to. No, man. I'm actually trying to go back and watch.
She's not gonna make little Finn babies.
Finn needs Finn has to find himself. He's still lost.
Yeah.
Finn's lost, and he's pretty broken now.
But he loves Rey.
Well, here's the thing. There's these characters have unanswered questions, because you got to go back to Force Awakens when they go meet with what's her name.
This is the thing that I will say about the last 2 episodes. I'm not going to judge this trilogy till I see Part 9. Part 9 is what's going to decide whether this was worth doing or not. But right now, I am disappointed.
It's worth doing.
I am disappointed. I'm so disappointed. This is worse than killing off Darth Maul in Episode 1.
That was terrible, but I'm hoping that they do something with Disney and expand into that universe and kind of do some movies with Darth Maul, like you saw in Solo. He wasn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I swear to God, I've never cheered so hard in my life when I saw Darth Maul, even for that split moment.
Do you think they're gonna bring? Do you think they're gonna bring Darth Savage as well with Darth Maul? You know who Savage is, right?
That's from the Clone Wars show. I don't know. Oh, they could. They should. You know who You know who I'd like to see a backstory on, because a lot of people didn't realize how powerful he was Mace Windu, Samuel L. Jackson's character.
Oh yeah, his character was awesome.
You know that because his labor was say that I forgot what that was
power.
supposed to mean. His power, he's powerful.
Power. He's like the most powerful Jedi. When they refer to him, they call him the most powerful Jedi. Say as wise as Master Yoda or as powerful as Mace Windu.
Yeah, because Master Yoda was just very wise and very.
And he's a badass fighter too, dude. You can't say he wasn't.
He's badass. Yeah, he's awesome. And
he was Game of Thrones before there was Game of Thrones. He was the first midget you wanted to win.
All right, guys, we're on 2 hours, and we're talking about Star Wars and not TV shows anymore, and we've lost pretty much our audience. But in general, like, kind of the takeaway that I hope you guys understood of this last one, which is interesting, is that they were trying to kill off the idea of both great evil and great good, like Jedi and the great Sith and everything like that. And that's the idea that is really troubling for everybody. It's hard to deal with, is what is great evil and great good? Is it they're trying to like kill off that idea of good versus evil, even though it exists and everything like that, and just in general how the functionality of the Force works in general, because it works both for evil and it works both for good. So is there really good versus evil? It's a making you think about that a lot. That's what it makes you want to think.
Are you saying that's why Luke wanted to burn? Well, that's why Yoda. That whole scene where Luke Skywalker ran into Yoda, and then he was telling him all about those books. He's like, "Oh, those books." He's like, you know, pretty much those books were meaningless and they didn't mean shit. He was like, "Bro, I spent hours reading those fucking books." He's like, "Those books don't mean shit," you know, like pretty much kind of saying like the Jedi, they're getting away from the Jedi. Like, is it that they're going into the old Republic? Is that what they're gonna do?
I don't know, but it's just that's what they're trying to let everybody kind of get the idea of, is the Sith and the Jedi are the idea of those two in battle. They're trying to make you think in a different way, is what they're trying to do. But a lot of people are upset with that. But let's see what happens with the overall concept.
Because like Mo wanted that answer, like who's Rey, where does she come, who are her parents, what is her origin? But I felt like I went in there just thinking to myself that they were gonna do the same thing that they kind of did with Empire Strikes Back. They give you something, but I mean, actually, Empire Strikes Back has the biggest fucking spoiler of all time, bro.
Let me ask you this, Mark. Let me ask you this. Is this concept that you're speaking about basically meaning that there is no black and white? Is basically what you're saying. There is no longer a distinct line between good and bad. You can't be bad if you don't have a little good in you. You can't be good if you don't have a little bad in you.
They said that. They did say that in the movie, but they're literally what they repeated over and over again, which I'm raged a lot of people, is they said the Jedi is dead and the Sith are dead, and that's why he wanted her to come with him to do the new order of how things are. No more Jedi, no more Sith. They were going to rule everything with the logic of not caring about what's good and evil, but just dominating with the power of the Force in kind of a way. But there's kind of that's a really shifty road to be on in general. That's why she didn't want to go along with him. It's a real shifty road to be on. But so let's see what happens. But we are running really late, and I want to make sure to say goodbye to everybody and everything like that, because people are already gone and sleeping. Our viewers have dropped and everything like that. But this is a really good conversation we could always bring up a little bit later, and definitely want to bring Tony back later on. He's an awesome dude to hang out and talk with and everything like that. Man. Tony, like, tell us where we could find your videos at and everything like that, where we could see you.
It would be on, well, you can find me on my Tony Blu-ray channel. I mean, that's where I have I've done most of my videos. I gotta start posting more. I do have some videos to post, because I have bought a bunch of movies that I haven't even shown and talked about and how I feel about that. Like today, I just bought the new Spider-Man movie and Mary Poppins. Yes, I bought Mary Poppins. Why? Just don't ask me. I'm a completionist. I can't have the first two Godfather, third. You get what I mean? I know it sucks, but I gotta. Mary Poppins, but guess what? My daughter likes it. She really liked the new Mary Poppins. Fuck that. Julie Andrews, I'd still bang her. Yeah, I'd still bang her. kidding me, bro? She's fucking. That pussy is probably pristine, bro. Like, I look at her and she's probably like, I look at her and I'm being serious. Like, listen, we're gonna be real now, bro. She looks like the kind of lady that, you know.
Do me a favor. Do me a favor. Let's drop the whole Julie Andrews advocate wanting to fuck her thing. Let's just keep moving on. Go ahead. Just move on.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which I will tell you, surprised the hell out of me.
Is it on your Vudu?
Yes, it is probably one of my favorite Spider-Man movies.
All right, I'm gonna watch it.
And I will tell you, no, it's definitely interesting.
Thank you to all you Hawks that are out there still watching. Sorry, we kind of fell off the topic. I'm excited that I have a big movie buff guy to argue some shit about. And sometimes we get a little sidetracked, and sorry about that. But you did get our top fives. If you haven't seen Justified, watch Justified. If you're not on the Game of Thrones train, jump on that train. I'm telling you. And if you haven't watched Breaking Bad yet, go home and sit on a nail.
It's on Netflix. It's on Netflix.
The wall so that you stub your toe. Like, you should smack yourself, like, right now. If you haven't seen Breaking Bad, you're an idiot.
You can binge it on Netflix right now.
You can, like, binge it on Netflix right now. You can. It's $7 a month. You'll be fine.
It's really good.
And I want to thank, special thank you to Tony. I appreciate you coming on the show, man. I definitely need you back on here. Maybe we'll condense the topic a little bit so that we can just kind of have like a wider range of movies. Maybe we can even get the audience involved, talk about the movies they want to talk about, and we can kind of give our thoughts on it. You know, tell somebody that's like the biggest shit movie ever, don't watch it, or just jump on their gravy train or whatever and just give our opinions. That would be fun. Hit the like, hit the share, hit the
since Tony is still right here, I want you to think about this. This is what we're supposed to be doing very soon. Maybe not this week, but in a couple of weeks. Top 5 worst movies in the last 10 years. Top 5 worst movies in the last year. I want you to put that list in your brain and think about it. Mo too. And we're gonna come back in a couple of weeks, maybe.
Men Who Stare
Because we talk about all kinds of great things all the time, but there's some crappy stuff out there that people need to know so they can just. But
skyscraper.
Thank you.
I gotta go back and see.
Thank you, Hawks, for coming out and hanging out. All that support us and watch and share. We appreciate you guys. If you're on Twitch, follow. We're going to be growing that community a lot on YouTube. Subscribe. Drop a like. Tell us what your favorite show is. Tell us your theory, Angelo, in the comments so Mo can see it later instead of watch on the video. Because that was a really funny theory that Angelo typed out. But we love you guys. We will see you guys later. Thank you, Tony. Mo Diggs. It's always a fun time, man. Always. Peace out, guys.
All right, guys.